you guys close this up? This is actually. Where's my other copy?
In Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Okay, sure. Wait,
Am I reading the word on my computer?
So whenever.
Action.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Excellent Suggins. Eddie, why don't you take it away?
Home. The storytellers each come out, one slightly after another. Both are old men, but suggest a certain spry aspect as well. They project the wizened years of the greatest storytellers. These men shall henceforth be known as Travis and Schravis.
You know, I'll tell you something, Travis.
What's that, Schravis?
It seems that ever since the old senator wrote his last bill and kissed his last baby, reporters and need-to-knows come abbling out to Peanut County, the name of the county we're in, incidentally, hoping for a scoop.
Yeah, I've thought about that too, my youngish old friend. I think that these reporters...
Don't forget the need-to-knows.
I'm not excluding the need-to-knows.
Well, say any interested party, whether it be professionally or merely recreational.
These interested parties simply can't pass up the Suggins story. 7-year-old mayor, 10-year-old senator, 22-time boat passenger.
For instance, while it is true that Efren Suggins was born in Nebraska before moving to the great state of Mississippi,
He did not invent corn.
that was here long before Efren Suggins.
And though the senator...
I'm sorry, but how do you invent corn? That makes no sense, even for a tall tale.
Travis, you're freaking out our friends here.
I'm sorry, it's just that I'm kind of mad at all of you for believing that a human being could invent corn. It's just preposterous. It's insane that we had to clear this up.
You are stupid, stupid people.
Here's another ridiculous one. Though Efren Suggins became mayor at a very young age, he did not also serve as the executive mansion.
Suggins did not, as some folks claim, handshake his wife to death.
She had her own issues going on, unrelated to the firm, and on more than one account, bone-crushing handshake of Efren Suggins.
Nor is it true that Suggins dressed up as his arch-enemy's mother and raised him for 18 years in order to plant various subconscious personality disorders. Seriously, where are you guys hearing this stuff?
Someone surely would have noticed. Travis, I fear we're one in the audience.
Well, they are at a play. Maybe they like being bored.
Yes, they're willing to sit awfully still. Maybe they died.
Is this that play where everybody turns out to be dead?
They're all kind of like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the greatest story ever told.
We now present with sponsorship from Whitney's Cotton Gins.
If you're not cottoning with a Whitney, you're cottoning with jack shit.
Scenes from the life of Efren Suggins.
The two storytellers rise from their chairs and walk off stage as the crew prepares for the first vignette.
Eddie?
A one-room schoolhouse. About 8 to 10 children are sitting attentively in an old-timey schoolhouse while Mrs. Napier, their school marm, instructs them in the ways of old math. The dress and decor of the scene indicate that we are probably in early 20th century South.
Who can tell me how old the United States is? Anybody?
A homely girl raises her hand.
Someone else?
Young Efren Suggins raises his hand. He is a good-looking boy who emits an aura of success. When he raises his hand, everyone in the room, teacher included, turns toward him happily and expectantly. He is simply the greatest boy ever.
Student boy president Efren Suggins?
The United States is 7 years old.
The entire class looks completely let down. The teacher claws at her face and pulls out her hair.
But that can't be. Student boy president is right. It is forever right.
Let me explain something to you good folks. I wake up in the morning. I don't see satisfied people. I see old man Coolidge dancing over the common man's grave. I go to school and we only have one room. Custodian and the principal and the same person, then that person is a raccoon. That shouldn't be. How long has the country been around? It's exactly the same age as me, 7. And it'll be 7 until we can knock out its baby teeth and set it on the path toward new, stronger teeth.
Everyone in the class bursts into hysterical applause. Miss Napier begins freely weeping.
Student boy President Suggins, you should run for actual elected office. Sorry, I said underline.
Super
No,
professional outfit.
I fucked your
Okay,
plan.
alright, do you want to be?
No, do it.
What's happening? Student boy President Suggins, you should run for actual elected office.
All of us will help you. You'll see if we don't.
Suddenly, a masked man with a gun bursts into the room.
Everybody take it easy. I'm just here for that sweet school money.
There's no money here. This is a public school.
Fine. Well, where's the vault?
There's no vault. This is a school. I think you've confused schools with banks.
How should I know? I dropped out of the bank in the 4th grade.
Suggins steps forward to the front of the crowd.
What's your name, American?
The masked man panics and points his gun at Suggins, who puts his hands up.
Ephraim, God no, take me, take me.
Miss Napier, cool your jets.
An odd hush goes through the classroom.
He just coined that phrase.
Go on, friend. Tell me your story. I want to help. Miss Napier, see if you can't get our friend a chair.
She hurries, grabs a tiny chair, and offers it to masked man. He sits.
Now, my name is Ephraim Suggins, and I'm 7 years old. I believe that this is the greatest and only country in the world. How can we make America better for you?
My name is Kraut, Lucas Kraut. I'm from Chillicothe, Ohio. Came down yonder looking for big money in wooden dice. Turned out to be a bust. Most people only need one die.
So you got desperate, and that turned to anger.
Plus, I've got the missus at home and 7 little mud puppies to feed, and 4 children to boot.
I think we'd all go a little bonkers if we had to deal with that.
Everyone politely laughs.
Ephraim Suggins, you're going to be president one day.
You'll grow until you're the biggest of all time.
Hey, William Randolph Hearst, here's a headline for your yellow journalism. Ephraim Suggins affirms life.
I rather like the ring of that.
From there, it wasn't a long trip to the mayor's office.
Well, the mayor actually lived quite far from the Suggins home.
Word began to spread that this 60-person town and people demanded to see this smooth-talking 7-year-old who convinced an armed robber to stand down and save his whole class and teacher.
The robber was executed immediately upon leaving the school.
Pretty much 5 seconds after the scene you just saw.
But that obviously wasn't the point.
That's the thing about small-town law enforcement.
Love it or hate it, it's terrifying and not really operating within the jurisdiction of the U.S. government.
And based almost entirely on a system of hunches.
I find that inklings are a little more credible than hunches myself.
Well, a hunch is based on nothing. An inkling is based on information, like data or, evidence.
Now, the most powerful of all is a vision, right? Surely we can agree on that.
Dreams or a waking fugue state.
I have this reoccurring dream that I'm strung up like a piñata and my 5 sons are taking turns hitting me with these bats, but the bats are actually penises. What do you think that means?
It means we should cue up the next scene. Go, old-timey projector, go.
Let's go.
2 podiums are set up in center stage. A moderator sits in a chair on stage right. We are about to witness a debate.
Dude,
Wait, I thought it was Hiram.
you gotta say that. Moderator. No, he's the moderator, then he gives his name, then he's
Oh, okay, sorry.
sorry.
Welcome to the 1923 Dink City mayoral debates, broadcast live on KLPX Radio. KLPX Radio, we're the only radio station with 700 miles, so it's either this or the Bible, which is definitely the only book you own. I'm noted radio personality Hiram Heath, and with me tonight are the 2 candidates for mayor of Dink City. On my left, he was the Peanut County Sheriff for 20 years, has been the incumbent mayor for the last 5. He's got a bushy mustache, and that's all this note card says. Please welcome Bert Trowell. On my right, he's 7 years old. Shouldn't he be doing back-breaking outdoor labor? Please welcome Ephraim Suggins. Each candidate will have 30 seconds to respond to the question. Mr. Trowell, you won the dead possum toss, so you'll start. Our first question comes from little Cindy Lee Gompers, age 2. She writes, Dear mayoral candidates, Dink City has become a horrible place to live. Our city water is thicker than blood. Our main export is creeping dread. And our literacy rate is burn all books. Will you, as mayor, attempt to address any of these very serious issues?
Well, I just want to start by saying that this is a mighty high-level question for a 2-year-old. The truth is, nobody quite knows why our water is so thick and brown. Some say it's a matter of mineral deposits in our pipes. Some say that what we know as water is actually mud. Mud, of course, contains water, but it is a distinct thing from water. It's awfully upsetting to think that we've been drinking tall, frosty glasses of mud, boiling mud for our tea, dosing ourselves in hot mud so we can shower and scrub away a day's dirt. If only there were a way to ensure our water's purity, we'd really be in business. But conclusively is not. Thank you.
Fairly airtight. Mr. Suggins, your response.
I only see one thick and brown substance here. It's coming out of Mr. Trowell's mouth and it ain't mud.
Now just a minute.
I'll tell you the problem with Dink City. Know-nothing politicians and their head in the sand like a goddamn oyster.
Mr. Suggins, I think you mean ostrich.
With all due respect, I think I mean freedom. I think I mean accountability. I'm talking about rising this great town out of the muck, and Mr. Trowell was busy describing the very same muck. Our literacy rate is appalling, Cindy Lou. You're absolutely right. Our water stinks and everything about us screams second-rate town. But you know what? We're not a second-rate town. We're talking about Dink City here. It's my home and yours. Dink City. We hold the Mississippi record for fattest tapeworm. Dink City is the birthplace of folks like legendary Civil War trader Frederick Huggles and first ever serial killer Purvis Burley Slacks. Every night you can sit on top of the abandoned auto plant, look past the other abandoned auto plant, and watch a beautiful Mississippi sunset, provided your view isn't obscured by one of the many clouds of locusts that seem to favor our town for whatever reason.
Mr. Suggins, yes, 30 seconds have passed.
Now, I'm a child. I don't understand taking turns. I don't understand the mechanics of politics any more than I can do basic math. All I know is that I've got an idea to raise revenue to this town tenfold by next year, or y'all can have a recall election and vote me out. It's a secret plan. I won't tell anyone unless there's a vote for me.
Tenfold! Wow! That's times 10! Let's hear this idea.
You're supposed to be impartial. I haven't even.
Can we cut his mic, please?